Good afternoon everyone. This is the third lecture for the 11th Science Organic Chemistry. In the first two lectures we discussed about some fundamental properties of the carbon which led us to the wide range of the compounds. Okay, that two properties was tetravalency of the carbon and the second one is catenation nature of the carbon. Because of that we have today a new branch of the chemistry, organic chemistry. In the second lecture we discussed about the classification of the organic compound, how many types of organic compounds are there, and in this lecture we are going to introduce some basic rules which will be useful in your 11th and the 12th science of the organic chemistry. And every single rule that we are going today study, these rules are the base of the organic compound. This rule will determine how much you are going to learn organic chemistry, and this rule will be the main part in your understanding of the organic chemistry. So that today we are going to make organic chemistry very easy concept. Before we start, I am going to give you two different words which are, first one is functional group. Okay, now what is functional group and how we are going to know that we are talking about the functional group? An atom or a group of atom which determine all the chemical properties of the organic compound is known as a functional group. In a sense, if we take that molecule out of that chain, that compound will be a whole different compound because of that atom. In the sense, we have a chain of carbon and we put that atom or a group of atom in that chain, and that particular compound becomes a whole different compound because of that atom, and that atom is known as a functional group. Now the second word is homologous series. What is homologous series? It is like a mathematical term that we know, arithmetic progression. We come to know that word in the 10th maths. Okay, what is arithmetic progression? Between two successive members there will be a same difference. For example, 5, then 9, then 13, then 17. Okay, between 5 and 9 there is a difference of 4. Between 9 and 13 there is a difference of 4. So the same difference will be carried out in the successive members. That is known as arithmetic progression. Likewise, in the homologous series between two compounds, successive compound, the difference of carbon and hydrogen will be same. That's why they are known as a homologous series. We have a whole lot of bunch of homologous series because we have a different type of functional group available in the organic chemistry. 3 homologous series that we discussed in the first very lecture, the alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. Now some basic properties of the homologous series. The first property is homologous series contains same functional group. A whole series based on a one functional group. For example, we are talking about alkanes, then every single compound of alkane contains only carbon-carbon single bonds. If we are talking about the alkenes, every single compound of alkene will be containing carbon-carbon double bond, at least one. If we are talking about alkynes, every single compound of that particular series contains at least one carbon-carbon triple bond. That comes to understand that every single homologous series has the same functional group. The second property of the homologous series is successive members. Between two members there will be a difference of CH2 unit in the molecular formula and 14 mu in the molecular mass. That means if we talk about methane and the second member ethane, there will be a difference of CH2. Molecular formula of methane is CH4 but ethane is C2H6. Now C2H6 minus CH4 comes to the difference CH2. Same goes with the ethane and propane, same goes with the butane and the propane. So in this manner we come to know that every single homologous series contains the difference of CH2 and the 14 m unit. Why? Because of 14, because carbon has the 12 atomic weight and the hydrogen has the 1. That's why 12 plus 2, because of 2 hydrogen there will be 14 mu difference. The third property is that every single homologous series contains their own similar physical and chemical properties. In the sense, if we are talking about carboxylic acids, okay, carboxylic acid has its own functional group, its own homologous series: methanoic acid, ethanoic acid, propanoic acid, butanoic acid, pentanoic acid. This is the whole homologous series. Okay, what is the similarity in this homologous series? There will be difference of CH2 in every successive members. Every single one contains the same functional group, COOH, COOH. 14 mu difference is there. Now we are going to talk about physical and chemical properties. Their physical properties are similar, means they are sour in taste because they are acidic, right? So the physical properties are mostly same. Now the chemical properties, these all are acidic. If methanoic acid reacts with the NaOH, ethanoic acid is also going to react with NaOH. Propanoic acid is also going to react with NaOH. Why? Because that all are acidic in nature. So the chemical properties will be similar in the homologous series. Last point, there will be increasing in melting point and boiling point between two members. If we talk about the melting point and boiling point of methanoic acid, it will be lower than ethanoic acid because ethanoic acid has more atomic weight, molecular weight, and propanoic acid will contain more melting point and boiling point compared to ethanoic acid because propanoic acid has more molecular mass. Now the main thing we are going to discuss today is the nomenclature of organic compound. What is the nomenclature? When any child born, we give particular name to that child so that we can identify that child in the future. For example, we have David named 3 boys in the class. 3 Davids are there in my class. So if I said, David, please stand up, all the 3 David will stand up. Why? Because name of all 3 boys are David. They are not going to know which David I am talking about until I classify all the 3 David into a different category. Likewise, organic compounds are, lots of organic compounds are there. That's why a particular system, a particular nomenclature system should be there so that we can identify every single compound differently. Otherwise, it's all going to be mess up. So that one particular institute come up with this plan. That institute is known as the IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. IUPAC. That particular institute decides that how we are going to determine the name of the compound. Every single day we are forming a new organic compounds, and for that compound a nomenclature is necessary, and for that IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry Institute, gives us simple rules so that we can follow that rules and we can come with the name. Okay, before IUPAC, what we were doing? IUPAC is established in 20th century, but before that, how we were given the name in the compounds? So in the history we used that compound's origin or some certain properties to give the name. For example, citric acid. Why we call it citric acid? Because that acid is found in citrus fruits. Citrus means sour, khatte, sour fruits. That's why we call it citrus acid. Second one is formic acid. Why we call it formic acid? Because the acid found in red ants are same as the formic acid. Where is the logic? Wait, because ants in the Latin language is called formica. So from the origin, from the name of the ants, we come to know that formica gives us acid, which will be known as a formic acid. So these type of names are old but sometimes useful. That's why they are called tribal names or common names. In the recent history, we come to know one particular structure, carbon-60 cluster, which will be named as a Buckminster fullerene. Why Buckminster fullerene name has been given to that compound? Because that allotrope of carbon contains a football-like structure of pentagonal and the hexagonals. That football-like structure is known as a geodesic dome structure. Now that geodesic dome structure was given by a famous architect of the America, R. Buckminster Fuller. And from that famous architect's name, we named that compound as a Buckminster Fuller. Now the IUPAC, which is our main interest right now, IUPAC system of the nomenclature. There are three different words. Again, there are three different words which are going to determine these whole rules. The first name is parent chain. Parent chain. The second name is branch. The third word is functional group. Okay, the three words, the first one parent chain, the second one branches, and the third one functional group. Okay, what is parent chain? We have to find out a parent chain. What is parent chain? Again, it is as simple as that. If we have 5 carbon in the long chain, that will be our parent chain. Okay, on that 5 carbon, there are some particular carbons which are connected to the middle carbons. They will be known as a branches, like that. Okay, what is functional group? As we discussed, an atom or a group of atom which is going to determine the whole compounds properties. So these three are going to be very much interesting thing over here. Now how we are going to name the compound? In the English, when we want to form a sentence, first we write a formula for that particular sentence. If we are talking about simple present tense, then we write a formula for the sentence of the simple present tense. Like we are going to use first he, she, is, it, like that. I have a simple formula over here for the IUPAC nomenclature. First we are going to write prefix. What is prefix? Prefix means some functional group will be used as a prefix for the written form of IUPAC nomenclature. Like here we have bromine. For bromine, we are going to use prefix bromo. For iodine, we are going to use iodo. For chlorine, chloro. For fluorine, fluoro. So some of them will be used as a prefix and some of them will be used as a suffix. That's why some of the functional group which have prefix will be written first. Prefix with the position with the prefix, then branch with the position again. We have one particular branch over here, so the second place goes to the branches, third place goes to the parent chain. Okay, alk is the chain. If we have 3 carbon, then word prop will be used. If we have 6 carbon, word hex will be used. If we have 8 carbon, word oct will be used. So that chain plus the suffix, now every single one is single bonded. So alkane is there, that's why suffix ane will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon are there, that's why hexane. Clear? Okay, another functional group is there, alcohol. For alcohol we are going to use suffix ol, and suffix will be put down on the last, alkane plus ol, so alkanol. Here we have hex, 6 carbon, so hexane plus ol, hexanol. Position with the prefix. How we are going to determine position, we will discuss over here. So position plus prefix, position plus branch, chain, and last suffix. Now forget about the functional groups. We will start from the basics. In the sense, we are only going to nomenclature here of the alkanes. Alkanes means only carbon and hydrogen, and all the bonds are single bond. No double bonds are there, no triple bonds are there. So simple alkane nomenclature, a basic nomenclature, a start of the nomenclature. But before we start, we have to name our branches. The carbon that is considered as a branch should have name. That's why we come up with the name alkyl, not alkene. It is alkyl for the branches. Okay, how we are going to use the name? So the branch or alkyl with the position plus the chain and any suffix. That will be the formula for the name of the alkanes. Okay, how we are going to determine the name of the branch? Suppose we have CH4. Remove one hydrogen so that we can attach that carbon to the chain. That's why CH4 gives us CH3 and methane becomes methyl. Likewise, ethane, C2H6, remove one hydrogen, that's why C2H5, or else CH2CH3 becomes ethyl. Propane gives us propyl, butane gives us butyl, pentane gives us pentyl. Likewise, if we remove one hydrogen from the alkane, it will give us our branch alkyl. So if one carbon is there in the branch, it will be known as a methyl. If 2 carbon is there in the branch, it will be known as a ethyl. If there is 3 carbon in the branch, it will be known as a propyl. If there is a 4 carbon in the branch, it will be known as a butyl. And if there is a 5 carbon in the branch, it will be known as a pentyl. Now for the JEE and the NEET, all the competitive exams, they preferred a symbol for the branches. Methyl has a symbol of Me. So if anywhere instead of CH3 someone write Me, that represents methyl. So methyl has Me symbol, for ethyl Et, for propyl Pr, for butyl Bu, and for pentyl Pn. Remember the symbols that are important for the competitive exams. Now we are going to talk about some special cases of the branches. Okay, here we have propyl, CH2, CH2, CH3. The open chain is from first carbon. Now look at here. Again, 3 carbon are there, but the opening is from second carbon. Here opening is from first carbon, here opening is from second carbon. That's why it is known as isopropyl. So propyl have 2 different chains. One will be normal propyl chain and second one will be isopropyl branch. Two different branches are there for the 3 carbons. If opening is from first carbon, it will be known as a normal propyl branch, and if opening is from second carbon, the starred carbon, second carbon, then it will be known as the isopropyl chain. We have to remember these 5. These 5 are special cases which will be used in the competitive exam for the nomenclature. So remember that particularly, specially these 5 names. Now we are going to talk about the 4 carbon. It is very interesting. See, if the 4 carbon are in the straight chain and the opening is from the first one, it will be known as a butyl. But likewise, if opening is from the second carbon, it will be known as a secondary butyl branch. If opening is from first carbon and one branch is there, branch of branch. Remember, branch of branch and opening is from first carbon. Total 4 carbon are there. That's why it is butyl. Total 4 carbon are there. That's why it is butyl. But one branch and opening from the first carbon, it will be known as the isobutyl. And if one branch and opening from the second carbon, one branch and opening from the second carbon, it will be known as a tertiary butyl branch. So butyl have 4 different particular branches. If all the 4 carbon are straight and the opening is from the first one, normal butyl branch. If all the 4 are in the straight chain and opening is from the second one, it will be known as a secondary butyl. If 4 carbon are there and one branch with the opening on the first, it will be known as a isobutyl. If there is a 4 carbon, one branch and opening from the second, it will be known as a tertiary butyl branch. Now for the 5 carbon, there will be a lot of alkyl series, but we have only 2 in our syllabus. The first one is the 5 straight, opening from the first is known as a pentyl, and a cluster of carbon completely covered by carbon. Now carbon makes 4 bonds, 4 queens are there for carbon. That's why middle carbon with the 4 different carbon, total 5 carbon, and opening from any one of them will be known as a neopentyl. The middle carbon has already formed its 4 bonds. That's why it is not allowed to form another bond with the chain. That's why bond will come from all the 4 carbon that has surrounded the middle carbon. It will be known as a neopentyl branch. We have to remember these 5 so that we can solve a difficult nomenclature with as. Now our primary target and our main focus, the rules of the IUPAC nomenclature. What are the rules for the IUPAC nomenclature here? The first rule is select the longest chain. We have to find the longest chain in our compound. How we are going to find it? Look at over here. I have one particular compound with 2 different written form. In the first one, there is a red pipe for the straight line which have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 carbons. Wait a minute, I forgot to write. 8 and 9 carbons. In the second same compound, the chain has been different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 carbon are there. The rule is find the longest chain in your compound. That's why this is wrong and this is right, because there is 9 carbon and in this chain there is only 8 carbon. So first thing, find the longest chain. Second rule, start with the end having least number to the branch. Listen carefully, start with the end having least number to the branch. Okay, in the first rule we determine the longest chain. Now the numbering part. How we are going to number the carbons? From the right hand side or from the left hand side? From the beginning or from the end? Where we are going to start the numbering? That depends. The number should be given least to the branch. That is the rule. Okay, the possibilities in the same compound. I have not written the hydrogen because hydrogen are not needed right now. So our chain was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Likewise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. From the beginning, from the end, which one is right? According to our rule, the least number to the branch will be right. So if we start from here, first branch will obtain number 2 and the second branch will obtain number 6. So 2 and 6 are the pair. Here, if we start from the end, the first branch will obtain number 4 and the second branch will obtain number 8. So pair will be 4, 8. Now least number should be there. That's why 2 and 6 are the right one, because 2 is less than 4 and 6 is also less than 8. That's why this pair is right and this pair is wrong. Now we can write out the name of this compound. Why? Because we have the position of the branch, we have the name of the branch, and we have the name of the chain. So we can write its name because it is already completed. Okay. I will write the name over here. So follow this particular formula. First we'll position with the branch. Position with the branch. Now there is 2 branches are there. One branch and the second branch. Which will be written first? Confusion. And for that confusion we have rule number 3. Follow the alphabetical order to write the branch name. To write the branch name, we are going to follow the alphabetical order. Now what is the alphabetical order here? It is quite simple. For 1 carbon we are going to use methyl, and for 2 carbon we are going to use ethyl. Now in the alphabetical order, E comes first and M comes second. That's why we will write ethyl first and methyl second. Now all the confusion has been removed. So branch with the position. Okay, ethyl will be written first. Position of ethyl 6. That's why 6 dash ethyl. Again there is another branch. So again branch plus position. 1 carbon, position number 2. For 1 carbon methyl. That's why dash 2 dash methyl. And the parent chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. 9 for non and suffix for alkane. Every single one is single bonded. That's why ANE. So the name will be 6-ethyl 2-methyl non-N. Completed and the right one. Again, first rule, select the longest chain. It have 9 carbon that we have selected. For 9 carbon, non-word is used. And for the single bond, suffix ANE, alkane. That's why non-N will be there as a parent chain. Now least number should be given to the branch. So if we start from the beginning, 2 and 6 will be number, and if we begin from the end, 4 and 8 will be there. That's why 2 and 6 is least than 4 and 8. So this is right one. Now for the name, alphabetical order must be followed to write the branch name, and dash will be written between the number and the branch. So first ethyl comes first as alphabetical order. That's why 6 ethyl. Dash is necessary between number and the name. Again name and the number, so dash is necessary. Number and name, dash is necessary. Name, dash is not necessary. So 6 ethyl, 2 methyl, nonane. A complete name of that particular compound. 3 rules, 3 particular possibilities, and right one is 6 ethyl, 2 methyl nonane. Now the fourth rule. Now we are going to follow a game named what if. Can you imagine what if is doing over here? Okay, what if we have 2 or more than 2 branches which have similar branch? Means if 2 or more than 2 similar branch, if there is 2 or more than 2 similar branch. Okay, here look at down here, 5 carbon straight chain and 2 branch are there, 1 carbon and 1 carbon. Both branch are containing only 1 carbon. So how we are going to write it? We have a simple rule. If there is a 2 same branch, we will use word di. If we have 3 same branch, we will use tri word. If we have 4 branch, we will use tetra, and if we have 5 branch, we will use penta. So how we are going to write it? The rule number 1, longest chain. This will be the longest chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. 5 for pent and single bond, so pentane. So ending will be pentane. Now the formula, position with the branch. Position 2 and 4. Here 2 and 4. Doesn't matter from which way we are going to write it. So 2 and 4. Now for 2 similar branches, word used di. So first the position 2/4. What is 2 and 4? The position of dimethyl. 1 methyl is on the position 2 and 1 methyl is on the position number 4. So 2,4 dimethyl pentane. The next rule, again what if? If same number goes to the both branches. If we start from the beginning, number 3 is allotted to the first branch. If we start from the ending, number 3 is allotted to the first one. Okay, visualization will be perfect for this rule. Look at over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 carbons. Here on the third carbon we have single carbon chain branch, and here on the last third we have 2 carbon chain. Okay, if we numbered from here 1, 2 and 3, and if we numbered from here 1, 2 and 3, from both the side same number has been given to the branch. What will we do? Again, both branches are different. Both branches are different. Then we have to consider this rule. If both branches are same, the previous rule, we will use 3 and 6 word. 3, 6, dimethyl or diethyl. If they are same, but they are not the same one, they are different. That's why what we are going to do? Simple. If ethyl comes alphabetically first, it will be given least number, and if methyl alphabetically first, then it will be given first number. Again, don't mess, don't mix up the rules. The first rule was follow the alphabetical order for writing the name only. This is the different case. When we are going to introduce alphabetical order for numbering, if there is same number from the both the sides, then and then we will use alphabetical order for the numbering. Otherwise, alphabetical order is only for writing the name. Again, alphabetical order is only for writing the name, not for the numbering. Only the number from the both the side are same to the branch, then and then alphabetical order is followed. So, if we see this scene, ethyl 2 carbon comes alphabetically first. That's why the numbering will be from the behind. Now write the name. Total 8 carbons are there. Okay, formula, position and the branch. Ethyl comes the first. So 3 ethyl, then 6 methyl, second branch, and the parent chain 8 carbon, oct and alkane, octane. So 3 ethyl, 6 methyl, octane will be the right name according to this rule. Please do not mess up rule number 3 and rule number 5. Rule number 2 is the right one when 2 different branches are there, and rule number 5 is right when 2 different branches are there and both the branch have same number. Then we are going to use alphabetical order. Last rule for the IUPAC nomenclature. What if branch have a branch? Again, what if Grim? What if branch have a branch? Look at here. Our parent chain is of the 6 carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. It is closed chain compound. That's why it is known as a cyclohexane. 6 carbon, all the bonds are single bond. That's why cyclohexane. Our parent chain. On that parent chain, the first carbon has a chain, a branch. Now that branch has a branch. Okay, that's confusing. Parent chain, branch and branch of branch. In that case, what we should do? It is very simple. Branch connected to the parent chain will be given number 1. Branch connected to the parent chain will be given number 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Branch connected to the parent chain will be given number 1. That's why 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 carbon branch is there. And on that 4 carbon branch, 2 different branches there on the first position and on the third position. So that is written in the bracket. Now this whole branch is on the first carbon. That's why 1 dash. Branch of branch in the bracket 1, 3. Dimethyl, bracket over, dash. Okay, this 4 carbon, that's why butyl, and this is parent chain, cyclohexane. This is special case, most IMP. Watch it 3 to 4 times so that you can understand it clearly what I am trying to say here. So this was the basic 6 rules for the nomenclature of alkanes. We have to follow these 6 rules so that we can nomenclature the alkanes perfectly and the right. Now, how can we make it easier? Very simple. We have to solve as much as nomenclature we can, and then it will be easy. I will provide you one assignment for the nomenclature of the alkanes. Try to solve every single one. It is very easy if you follow these rules, these 6 rules. So assignment will be provided in this video lecture in the below link. So click there and collect the assignment and solve this with these 6 rules. If you have any doubts, directly contact me on the WhatsApp number, or you can call to the school to contact me. Thank you.